that, I'd like you to go ahead and hit your share button. Let's populate this platform in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, let us populate the platform. So please go ahead and you hit your share button. Why I see who is joining. When you join, please do me a favor and do me a favor, leave me a message, drop a message on the screen. Let me know what you are thinking in your heart, especially about the lockdown. It is very important we know what you are thinking about the lockdown. So go ahead and hit your button. Go ahead, hit your share button. I see the numbers are rising now very, very rapidly. While you do so, as usual, let me welcome you, all of you beautiful people. I see Ateno Valley. It says IG for life. Yes, Moses Tanyi, my body right here. Say hello, formidable Chris Eno. Thank you, sir. Mambo Pena. I see you. Liz Benson Liz. Liz Benson Liz. Thank you. Say hello. It's no, say you're welcome, sir. Watching from California. That is wonderful. Armstrong for Nocho. I see you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The numbers are rising really quick. In 10 minutes, let's get 1,000 people right here on this platform so I can come to you. I see William Orok is watching. Ateno Valley is also watching. I see also Fonyal C. Venus. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Say Papa Chris. In Kente, I think you want to write in Kente. That is a Bangla dialect. All right, thank you, Fonya. Songem Bebe, I see you. I see Mildred Ndangchi. Thank you for joining, Mildred. I think you are always here. Always see you here. Mega Elvis Ndofo, always here. I see also Amber Home Base. Thank you for joining from Belgium. Funky One Lashe. Good to see you, Secretary Chris. Thank you, sir. The one and only Mark Barretta. This one, the junior one, is watching also. Thank you, Mark. Festus Imba, I see you, sir. Lawrence Tabisco, I see you. Indemisco, thank you. I see you. Taku Leko Alem says shalom, thank you, sir. Ransoma Natum, I see you. Yes, please, the numbers are rising. Hit your share button as you join. As you join, send it to your groups, send it to WhatsApp so those on WhatsApp, they can join. The moment we hit that magic number, miracle number, I start coming to you. But I got a lot of things to talk about before we get there. So go ahead and hit your numbers. Julius Ng, thank you for joining. Doro Ann, watching from Maryland. Thank you, sir. I see also Davy S. Daniel Tasson, thank you for joining. Temino Asachop. This must be Olivia Lemnen. So hello, Comrade Chris. Thank you, sir, for all your efforts. Thank you, sir. Ochiba Achundo, always here. Thank you for joining, sir. Gancha Divine. Yes, my guy. I think logging in from London, I guess. Ken Gim David, always here. Cantona Eric. Yes. Say nice, always seeing you. Lionheart man. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Fred Stewart, I see you. Please hit your share button. They don't need to go down, they have to go up. Okay, they're rising. Hit your share button. Great. I see Doro Ann say, let's get ready with our equipment before the lockdown. Absolutely, Dora, absolutely. That is what we need to do, and that is why I am here today. Our boys need to be equipped. This war is just starting, and I can assure you that Lada Public is fretting right now. I got some news I'm going to give you. Just stay put in there and get people to join. I got some news from Lada Public today, fresh news of today. You guys wouldn't believe what they are thinking and what they are actually doing. They are about to end this war, but they don't know what to do. They don't want to end it with shame. I'm gonna tell you, hit your share button. I see Ojong Akabum, Michelle, thank you, sir. Sergeant Duke, thank you for joining. AK-47 project activated. You are right, sir. Funky Wala, I mentioned you. Lauren Tabisco, Ekombe Mbonji, James Banyu. I see also Mado Bami Ambazonia. That is wonderful. Che Francis, watching from South Africa. Amber Woman, I think I know you. My secretary, I am watching from Rich of Manfako. Oh, okay. Julius Inji, Inkemasong Romanos, I see you. Siri Nancy, Diana, watching from Ground Zero. Wonderful. Maggie Moore, I see you. I see Georgie Tak. I see Nyanganji Emil. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hit those numbers. And while you are doing that, I have very, very vital information to bring to you. The first announcement that I like to bring to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that yours truly, 3 days ago, received a formal summons from La République du Cameroon agents represented by the Insalai law firm in California, summoning me to appear in court and here in California to answer charges related to terrorism and a handful of about a dozen of other charges. So I thought to break that news to you today. Again, 2 days ago, I formally received a summons to appear in a California court sued by La République du Cameroon law firm, Insalai law firm in California, charging me of terrorism and every other form of crime, political crimes that you can imagine of in this world. But what I would like to add, nobody has any reason to fret. Nobody has any reason to fear or to be worried. We are going to turn that thing around to be a trial, a public trial for La République du Cameroon. I have no doubt about that. La République du Cameroon, they need bad publicity, they got it. And I can't wait to be in that California court when the date comes. So when the date comes, when the date is announced, I will make sure you are informed about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the situation. I shall be appearing in court. The date of the court is not yet scheduled. Our lawyers are looking at the papers. Interim government lawyers, they are looking at the papers. And once they go through the papers and file a reply to the summons, then probably the judge of that California court will then schedule a hearing. And again, nobody has any reason to be worried. That case will be a trial of La République du Cameroon, not a trial of Chris Anu nor this interim government. Thank you so very much. Now, the second thing that I also like to talk about before I go to the presentation proper, ladies and gentlemen, keep on hitting your share button. Let's grow the numbers before I do the final presentation. But the second point that I like to address is the subject of APNC. APNC, the conference that some Ambazonians, they are organizing, they are putting up. I wouldn't be saying anything about it, but for the misrepresentations that they have put out there, trying to deceive Ambazonians that the interim government, your interim government, is part of that conference. Again, if not for the manipulations that they are putting out there, I would not be saying anything about it. But I have to say something about that conference because organizers are trying to force people there, essentially using the name of this interim government. Now, many of you watching now would have seen a flyer out there in the social media with the portrait of Dr. Sako as being one of the key speakers at that conference. Also, you may have seen a certain program going around, making rounds in the social media, supposedly indicating that Dr. Sako, our acting president, is going to be the keynote speaker at the opening of that convention. Nothing, and again, nothing can be farther from the truth. When people begin to do things, when people put on a conference like that one, and then begin to manipulate people even when the conference hasn't started, ladies and gentlemen, shine your eyes. Again, shine your eyes. Dr. Sako has not as much as been informed that he is going to be the keynote at that event. He doesn't have the program. And he is not, on behalf of this interim government, endorsing that conference. So please, ladies and gentlemen, the APNC is not being endorsed by your interim government. We are not sending any form of representation to that conference. Does that mean we are stopping it? Absolutely not. We do not have any powers to stop any Ambazonian from coming together. Again, this interim government does not have any powers to stop any Ambazonians from gathering together. But this particular conference, where we are being told that Dr. Samuel Sako is on the program, shall be the keynote speaker on the first day of the event, please, that is a lie. And again, watch out, open your eyes when people begin to manipulatively insert things in that conference that should not be there. It tells you something is very, very wrong. Hit your share button, please. And also, let me also remind you one of the reasons, or a few reasons why this interim government is not going to endorse or be a part of that conference, the APNC. Now, we have been told that between $30,000 to $200,000 are going to be used for the organization and planning of this conference. We have asked for one question. Number one, who are the sponsors? Who are those coughing out this kind of money, this amount of money? And we have not been told who is paying for this conference to the tune of 100 to 200,000. Who are those paying that money? So the interim government cannot go and sit in a meeting that is sponsored by people that we don't know. The interim government is not made out of kids. There are adults in here who have the right to ask questions. We remember very well, we still remember very, very well that a conference took place in Naira Hotel. A gathering, a meeting took place in Naira Hotel in 2018. Up to today, this interim government does not know who sponsored that meeting. But you have not forgotten that the people at that meeting, our president, our leaders, were abducted in that meeting. And up to today, we do not know who sponsored, who paid the bills for that meeting flow in people into Abuja, and then our leaders were picked up. So we are not going to sit on the table and pretend we just want to satisfy some people because they want us to be there, and they are putting between 30,000 to 200,000 on the table to organize a meeting, and we don't know where the funds are coming from. So we have asked this question: who is funding the meeting? Of course, it's not the country coordinators, because about 80%, if not more, about 80% of country coordinators have said they are not involved in that meeting. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you will join us here asking the organizers of that conference the question: who is paying the bills of that conference? Who is paying the bills? Now, a second thing that I'd like you to know is this. We have also been told, and it is a kind of a justification for the amount of money they are going to spend. We have been told that 150 delegates will be flown in from all over the world. Who are these delegates that your interim government cannot know and doesn't know? How do you expect your government, if you claim it is responsible, to go and sit on the conference table that is meant to restructure your government, and the government doesn't know which delegate is attending the meeting? That is one of the reasons the IG, the interim government, has said, unless we know all these things, we are not going to endorse it. And we are not going to endorse it until they tell us who is sponsoring this meeting. We do not want to go and sit in the conference, in the convention that is paid for by La République du Cameroon. We cannot do that. And I'm sure you very much support this. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are a few reasons for which this interim government is not going to endorse or attend that meeting. And nothing is going to change this. So I just wanted you to know this. It is very, very important. Going on from today, we will not be talking about this conference. Again, I had to say this only because of the misinformation out there in their flyers, in their posters, in their programs, that Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako is going to be addressing that conference. It is a lie. And again, when you see people doing things in a manipulative way, that should ring a bell to you that something is not right. If you see any member of the interim government inserted in the program of that meeting, know that this interim government has not endorsed that person to be in that conference. It is very important I brought that to you. Now, I really want to appreciate. Now, I came here last week, or was it this week? I think it was Monday, and I addressed financial issues in the interim government. Ladies and gentlemen, I said to you that your interim government is not corrupt. And I will repeat that again. After I spoke to you, a number of people called me and said, Secretary Chris, you shouldn't have said that. Oh, people are dropping from paying their dues. He said, you remember what happened with Capac when there was allegations of mismanagement? People dropped from paying their dues. And the person said, Secretary Chris, now you said this one, people are dropping their dues, their monthly dues. He said, you shouldn't have said it. You should have allowed it settled in-house. No, ladies and gentlemen, they get to a point where certain things can no longer be settled in-house. Let me tell you something. When allegations of mismanagement in Scapac were brought up, people dropped their dues. because they couldn't understand why they put in their money. And those that manage the money allege embezzlement, mismanagement, and no accountability is given. Now we have a similar situation. Now this time I won't call it mismanagement, I won't call it embezzlement, I am calling it the inability of he who manages the money to present an audit in a situation where an audit was supposed to be presented four times in a year, and none up to now has been presented. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm trying to say. I am not killing the system. I am fixing the system. I want you out there to trust the system, to trust that there is transparency in the system, there is accountability in the system. I want you out there to know when you put your money in this interim government, you can rest assured it is being accounted for. Nobody has been accused at this moment of mismanagement or embezzlement. It is a problem of accountability. And I want you, ladies and gentlemen, I am building confidence in you by saying this thing. We cannot therefore stop from funding our revolution, from funding our government, from funding this struggle. Because what we are doing is revamping the house, letting people to see that there is accountability. It is no longer the old regime. It is no longer the old system. We are building a system of accountability, and you should have no fears about your donations going into the interim government. And so I like to appeal to you. Let's not take what I say as a negativity. Let's see it as the right way to move on, to move forward, to create a new system, to establish new rules. So what is going on right now, you saw the press statement, not the press statement, but the presidential order that the acting president put out the other day. I have heard some people say, why did he have to wait this long to put out something like this? Now you have to understand, presidential orders are not something you have to do every day. There is a process. And do not think that for 6 months or for 1 year, nothing was done in this situation. No, there was a process that had to be followed. And we are today in February. That process was supposed to end in January. And 2 months after, that process was supposed to end in December. We are now in the new year, January, and then you have February. 2 months after, nothing has been done yet. And so, something had to be done. Something had to be done. Again, fellow Ambazonians, what I am trying to do is to let you see that your money gets into the place where it ought to go. And so please, do not withdraw your contributions to the interim government. Do not withdraw your support, your donations, your monthly dues to the interim government, because I can assure you your money will be accounted for. Please hit your share, hit your share button. Hit your share button as you join. Now, so that was very important. That was very, very important. Again, nobody is being accused of embezzlement. Nobody is being accused of mismanagement. All that we want to see is the audit report for 1 year. The audit of the interim government for 1 year. And all this is to build confidence in all of you who are supporting this government, who are donating to this government, to know that what you give is being accounted for. So again, please go ahead, continue to make your donations. Go to the website, ambazoniagov.org. ambazoniagov.org. Continue, enroll in there and continue to make your donations. Because, ladies and gentlemen, without money, we are not going to prosecute this revolution. You know that. This is not propaganda. This is not some campaign to raise money. It's a fact that without money, we will not go anywhere. We will not get anywhere with this revolution. So again, these are confidence building measures that we are trying to put in place so that every ambassador, no, nobody is using their money anyhow. And let me also add one thing. You have heard rumors around there that the acting president, Dr. Sako, is earning $10,000 a month from the interim government. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I hope you can hear me really, really good. Please put that trash in the dump. That doesn't exist. The interim government has been assisting the president, his range, taking care of his accommodation, and it is the right thing to do. What he is doing out there, if you give it to me and you cannot take care of my bills, I will drop it, I'll walk away. So please, we have to take care. If Sisiku was out here, we will do the same. Our president must live with dignity. But to say that he's earning $10,000, some people said I am making $5,000 a year. I make nothing. And the financial secretary is listening to me. If I make anything, he will put the records out there. If Dr. Sako makes anything, he will put the records out there. So please, let us avoid these detractors and build and work for our revolution. Thank you. Now I want to go back to talk about ABC television, your television that you watch here. I have, within the week, gotten a lot of misinformation from activists that don't know their left from their right. The work of a journalist, ladies and gentlemen, is not to go out there and postulate things that they do not know, they have no grasp, no information about. If you are an activist or a journalist, your job is to put out information that is verified. You go out and you put out information that is not verified, you lose credibility. You have no credibility. And I've seen activists who go and stand on the social media and they say, I call Secretary Chris and I spoke with Secretary Chris. And so all these numbers that you see, he gave me the numbers. He told me the numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not spoken to any activist who is out there giving you some fake numbers. And every number he puts out there is faulty. Because I see there is a calculated ploy by some out there who want to invest in SCBC so that ABC crumbles. And they are out there telling you, you don't have need for television. You just need to get the money let's focus the money and buy the AKs that our boys need. Is it only today that you realize, 2 years after this revolution, that the boys need AKs? Is it only today? And are we going to let somebody else tell our story? We have to tell our own story. Nobody will tell our story like us. So I like to make some clarifications. But first of all, I like to thank all of you who responded to the call, to the plea, to donate towards offsetting the bills of ABC. Within Monday and today, Thursday, we have received quite a good amount of money. Within Monday and today, the total amount that we receive is $6,850. and $10.53. That is the amount that has come in since Monday, between Monday and today. Again, that amount is $6,810.53. Now we have all the names, the list of those who made these donations. And what I'm going to do, I will ask our people in the department. They will put up these figures with the names of those who donated, just their last names or their first names. So if you want to, if you go, the list will be put up on ABC Facebook page. So you go up there, you look through the list, you will see your name and you will see the amount you donated. We just want you to know that we're trying to be transparent in this as much as possible. So again, we raised $6,810 as of today. This is not even enough for the first month bill. The donation lines are still open. And I will still continue to plead to you, we must not let ABC go under, because that is the plot of detractors of this revolution to skew our message, to stop our message from going out. That other television is not propagating the message of this revolution. We must propagate our own message. So again, I am going to get this list of donors as of today put up on ABC Facebook page for everybody to see. Our Cash App brought in $4,456.50. PayPal $1,084.03. GoFundMe $1,270, bringing it up to $6,810.53. Again, this will be the names of the donors will be put up probably even before I get out of here, for the donors to go there and see. If you go there and you don't see your name, please send an email to, or call me personally. My number is out there. Call me personally to let me know your donation did not feature. I know there are some donations that are still on the way, that are still to come, but we will continue to add to the list as those other names come in. Now, some people have asked for the ownership of ABC, and they are asking. We were told before that Ambazonian owned SCBC. After paying the bills for a year, it was only there and then Ambazonians found out they did not own SCBC. And they are saying, I have received phone calls and messages and saying, Secretary Chris, can we see the paperwork, the registration, the incorporation papers of ABC? And the activists who asked this question, and I told them, absolutely, they are public documents. In fact, without me presenting them to you, they are registered in the state of Maryland. You go on their State Department website and just Google ABC Amber TV. Those documents will show up. You will see in whose names they are registered. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing to hide here. I don't believe in that. But what I am going to do, if the papers are not yet up, we are putting the papers, the incorporation papers of ABC on ABC Facebook page. They may be, those papers may be, those documents may be there right now. But if they are not there yet, I can assure you, by the time this broadcast is over, the registration documents for ABC TV will be on the website, on the Facebook site. You can go there and you read it and you see who owns it. ABC TV is owned by you, Ambazonians. Now, when you register a company with a name like Ambazonia Broadcasting Television. Now, anybody can claim the name, can claim ownership of Amber Broadcasting Television. So what we did, now that because there are names of directors, there are names of directors on the registration, and those directors could claim ownership of ABC. So what we did was have our lawyers produce a memorandum of understanding that gave the directors, those directors, surrendering the ownership of that television to the people of Ambazonia represented by the interim government. Those papers too are there. This is a memorandum of understanding that gives the ownership, that spells out the ownership of ABC television to the people of Ambazonia represented by the interim government. Now, these are the kind of papers we never saw from SCBC. But we paid the bills for 1 year only to find out we were paying for somebody's business. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why I have said that there is no way we are going to merge ABC with that television station that is a business entity. So that is what we have done. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you. Again, these papers will be put up on the social media. They will be put up on the Facebook, so you can go there and read it and know that you Ambazonians own this television. Now, the other question is, as somebody has asked, do we need television? Can't you just do the broadcast on Facebook? This is the question I have heard some people say, some activists say, you can just do it on Facebook. After all, you broadcast only for 10 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, ABC television is 24/7 on ground zero. The only moment you see ABC on Facebook is when I come on live or anybody else comes on live as I am now. That is the only time you see it on Facebook. When it is not on Facebook, it is running on ground zero on satellite in all of Africa indeed. So please do not buy that falsehood that ABC is running to run on Facebook. When if you understand the power of visual information in a revolution such as ours, you will understand that television is indisputable in a revolution, in a war, because your people have to get the message through your own medium, else you have no control. When you mention Facebook, using Facebook to communicate, let me ask you, you use Facebook to communicate, how many people have the required bandwidth to be able to watch Facebook in Ngi, in Batibo, in Where, in Alo, in Pinyi? How many people have the required bandwidth to be able to watch it? So ladies and gentlemen, we should not be deceived. The media of propaganda, of information dissemination in this age is one of the most important tools in the hands of any war. If it were not so, let me tell you, Kamto Maurice or Maurice Kamto will not be setting up a TV station when Kamto started protesting his presidential laws only about a month ago. But he has already set up a television station. You think that he is stupid? He is not stupid. What about Patrick Ngana? He's a very popular activist. Patrick would have used Facebook to send his message on ground zero. But he went and he started a television. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not allow uninformed people who are so inconsistent, who do not know their left from their right. to deceive you. If we spend $8,300, which is ABC satellite payment a month, would it buy all the AKs for our boys? Absolutely not. But our people on Ground Zero, they are excited when they watch us. Tell them exactly what they need to hear on their own television. And no other television will be able to do that except our own television. So ladies and gentlemen, having said this, I will continue to appeal to you. Now, something I forgot to tell you is that we know all the diplomats, at least those that matter in Yaoundé, have ABC in their embassies. They listen to us directly. We cannot allow Equinox TV to sell our message. We cannot allow CRTV or our people watching CRTV and not knowing anything about our message. We have to share our own message, and that is why every diplomatic mission in Yaoundé has ABC in their homes and in their embassies. Those visual images that we see sometime only on the social media, Equinox can never run them. CRTV will never run those images. But when we run them on ABC, on Ground Zero, you will not see it. You will not see them here on Facebook because we don't run them here. But we run them on satellite. And people are able to see them on Ground Zero. Equinox will never run those messages. You look at the newspapers in Cameroon. I will write stories and send to the newspapers on Ground Zero to publish. They will not publish it because they are afraid of what will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if we had the money to even add a newspaper and a radio to this television, we will do it. They say knowledge is power. And that is what we are out to do with this television. But I want to add that, ladies and gentlemen, the plan of this television, we are hoping that in the next 6 months or so, it is able to take care of itself. We have marketers who are coming out with a plan on how we can market ABC, so that in the very near future, the interim government isn't paying for it, or you are not paying for it. We can bring in some advertisers, some promoters, some documentaries that are able eventually to take care of the bills of ABC. But for now, that we are just starting. Now, don't forget also, I have heard some people say, oh, you know, ABC is not very much watched on the ground like this other TV. That is true. ABC has only been out there, I think, for 3 months. 3 months. Yet, if you ask anybody on Ground Zero, they tell you, yes, we know of ABC. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put detractors. Let's discern when detractors come to us with cook up lies to sabotage the revolution. So, again, having said that, I want to appeal to you, please, we still need your money to offset the bills of ABC. And every dime that you give, we will explain to you. You can trust that we will explain to you how it was used. I think you can find I believe that our ABC staff, they are watching. If they can put the Cash App number, and they can put the PayPal email address on the screen for people to donate, I will really deeply appreciate it. And if you want to make a special donation, and you cannot use PayPal or Cash App or whatever number, call me personally. My number, call it 603-682-2687. We have to take care of this bill, else we will be shut down. If you cherish what we do, please please pick your phone, make that phone call, or make that Cash App donation, and go to PayPal. The email address for PayPal is benjiforfreedom@gmail.com. Benji number 4 and then freedom@gmail.com. All right. I hope this made a lot of sense. I will be more than glad to answer any of your questions about this ABC thing. And of course, some of you have suggestions too on how we can make it even better. And I'm always asking for people who can produce documentaries to send to us. We will run them as far as they are educative. Thank you very, very much. Again, the documentation, all the documentation, the incorporation papers, the memorandum of understanding for ABC, we will have it up on ABC Facebook page for you to go up there and take a look at it and see the details of it, so you can rest assured that ABC is owned by you, the people of Ambazonia. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, I will come to you with the presentation proper. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians. Last week and this week ending yesterday, Thursday, February the 14th. Thursday, February the 14th. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I was distracted here. I cannot take calls, so please don't call right now. Do not call right now. All right. So, I am sorry for the distraction. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians. Last week and this week ending yesterday, Thursday, February the 14th, went down in the annals of our struggle as one of the remarkable moments in our quest to regain our freedom and independence from French Cameroon annexation, colonization, and domination. For 9 days, 9 solid days, our brave and courageous restoration fighters, the defenders of our territory and our liberation, dazzled a trained professional army of French Cameroon, bound from Fako to Dongamantung. Our boys refused to be scared by their bayonets, machine guns, and the brutal criminal indiscriminate arrest and torture of our people. Even Victoria, a city that has never slept since this struggle began, went to sleep, thanks to the restoration forces. The restoration forces, despite all the threats in our federal capital, Buea, defied the professional invading soldiers, actually pursuing them to the hideouts from the very start of lockdown to yesterday. The forces in Moyuka, Ikona, and Kumba held on their own too. Colonial Governor Bernard Okalia is a testament of our boys' bravery. Okalia, appearing on camera surviving death, looked like an overdue pregnancy in the military fatigue that probably saved his life. He was just lucky that, like in Libialem, He again survived this one. In Batibo, our valiant defenders took to the factory and came out experimenting what has now given them an urge, a re-urge over the firepower of the aggressor colonial army. Going forward, colonial soldiers would have to take special precautions to enter Mogamo land. The restoration boys, they are in high spirits. In Mbengwe, Bali, Kumbo, Indab, especially the same bravery and courage was displayed by our restoration forces within the 9 days. The BLM once more demonstrated its feat as they sent not only colonial military trucks tumbling into its rivers through the bridges. There are at least 3 military armored trucks still standing in Minji, unmovable. They would have to be towed away for evidence of French Cameroon army humiliation and degradation in that place. In Quebeco, another locality in the BLM, it is now being reported that the first colonial general, General Buba, may have met his Waterloo. His convoy, a company of 3 SUVs, a caterpillar, and 2 cars were recovered and towed to Chang after the attack that is reported to have ended the life of the general. As the vehicles were recovered in their wreckage, the only thing not yet recovered is the general himself. French Cameroon is still to say a thing about the death of General Buba. Ambazonians are challenging French Cameroon military authorities to show strength and courage and to tell the rest of their soldiers in the BLM and elsewhere what happened to their general. As a promise, the day General Buba shows up alive to confess he is still living, we shall prove to all doubting Thomases in French Cameroon that Field Marshal isn't in the grave, that he is alive too. Ladies and gentlemen, lockdown brought French Cameroon to its knees and gave them a model lesson that our destiny is no longer in their palms. We stop food from entering that country. We stop them from siphoning our resources. We stop the tankers. We stop the timber. We stop the rubber. We stop the bananas too. And we stop basically everything from entering their territory. We deprive them well over 1 billion CFA francs every day that were kept on the shutdown. Their offices remain shut down too. Even Bernard Okalia himself had a good feel of the ghost town when he tried sneaking out of Boya. But also very important, very important, this is what we ourselves have learned from the shutdown. We now know what works and that will plead to Cameroon the most. We know how to drain their finances. We know how to paralyze their economy and hold it hostage. In declaring war on us, they thought their soldiers would come and hurt us like sniffing dogs and we will run and surrender. It hasn't worked and it isn't going to work. Who sees or tastes freedom and let it go? How can we let it go? Seeing the ever-mounting callous carnage on our people. May God continue to keep our restoration fighters. May God protect our restoration fighters. May God deliver them. May God continue to permit them with courage and bravery. And may God cause that every weapon directed against them bounce back to the enemy. Sisiko Ayub Tabe says, thank you to the restoration forces. The interim government, thank you. And Ambazonians everywhere thank and appreciate you too. You are proving you have the will and determination to deliver Ambazonia from the jaws and the fangs of French Cameroon. The challenge is now that of the diaspora, the local government institutions and the counties, to encourage all of you, our restoration forces, with all that you deserve to prosecute the war and to take it to the next level. What French Cameroon and the international community is learning from the shutdown is that we are progressively asserting authority and control over our territory and our people. We are dictating what happens in the market squares and offices. We are dictating when colonial offices open up for business in our territory. Indeed, we have given colonial slaves like Ekema Patrick additional duty, that of ghost town enforcement. I mean the grounding of taxis on our behalf and the sealing of shops too. Very soon, very soon, we shall be deciding who collect taxes in our country. We shall also be deciding who collect the tolls on our roads. We shall be deciding where Sonora pay taxes. Very soon, we shall be deciding what happens to all these Chinese companies in our country too. Every other country, but for China and France, has expressed reservations, dismay at French Cameroon's horrors on our people. But the Chinese have continued to give French Cameroon both money and armory to be used in slaughtering our people. The Chinese must be made to pay. The Chinese, ladies and gentlemen, must not be allowed to do business as usual in the southern Cameroons. We make it categorically clear to the Chinese today that so long as they continue to provide the Yaoundé regime with the money and the machine that kill our people, no business interest of theirs shall be allowed to operate in the southern Cameroons until they have consultations with this interim government. Fellow Ambazonians, the successes registered with the shutdown didn't come without a price. We lost some of our valiant defenders of the cause, I mean the revolution. Some were killed right in their homes, some while in hospitals, and some on roadsides. The interim government sends sincere sympathies and condolences to the bereaved. We equally sympathize with the victims of the Kumba hospital burning while condemning in the strongest possible terms the criminal act on a building that treated the harmless. No one else could have carried out the dastard act on the hospital than French Cameroon soldiers. It is in their character to burn down schools, hospitals, and villages. They have done it before in Batebo, in a Mogi, in a local government. They have kidnapped, raped, and killed students. They burned down churches. Schools in our communities have since shut down because they burned down schools too. Like a recent case in Widekum. Now, they are burning down even hospitals, churches, school campuses, and hospitals are protected by international conventions during wars and conflicts such as this one. But in the case of French Cameroon soldiers, those conventions just do not matter, I guess. French Cameroon has broken every international convention. By the reckless way they have prosecuted this war. Unfortunately for them, they made their march. This interim government is appealing vehemently, strongly to the international community to pressure the Yaoundé colonial regime to arrest the perpetrators of the Cuba arson and, if possible, hang them. But if Yaoundé would not arrest them, the perpetrators can rest assured that one day, they will pay for their crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, after declaring our independence restoration on October 1, 2017, and after banning 20th May celebrations, banning their rights to host the African Cup of Nations, banning their elections in our territory, and banning 11 February celebrations, who says we are not resolved? The international community now knows we are passionately resolved to prosecute this revolution to the expected end. The international community now knows we mean what we want. They know we are able to sustain the fight. They know that the morale is on our side. How can we fail? We cannot fail. We cannot fail. And I have good news for you, ladies and gentlemen. The cards are seriously turning against French Cameroon. Some of you saw a video out there today, a clip on the social media. I just saw that clip while I was coming on this broadcast, and how even French authorities, French citizens are beginning to say that the regime in Cameroon is committing mayhem. The tides are turning against them. We have learned in the last 24 hours that the French are now all over their own. The rest of the powers that matter in the international community have parted ways from them, from their support, because they sponsor the war. The French are now actually lobbying some southern Cameroon civil societies to go lobby other Western diplomats in Yaoundé on their behalf. And they are telling the civil societies to tell other diplomats in meetings in Yaoundé that the carnage, the killings in our territory are being masterminded by our own people. Unfortunately for them, the fabrications are not being bought. We are on our way to Buea, and it's getting closer and closer. Our only challenge now is to hold on, to hold tight. But the most important challenge is to get the right equipment into the hands of our defenders. It means that you have to ask for your local government group right now. This is the moment to enroll in and pay your dues. It has been said that had the boys in FACO got the right machinery, that the colonial governor in Buea would have been in a transition by now. But the right equipment wasn't there. FACO is very, very important in this struggle. FACO is essentially the reason why they don't want us to go. FACO is where our presidency sits. When FACO falls, Ambazonia would have finally become a reality. We are appealing to all sons and daughters of FACO to make the venerable Dr. E.M.L. Ndele proud in his tomb, to finally actualize the dream that he had for the southern Cameroons. FACO comrades, please make Dr. E.M.L. Ndele proud of you. Rise up, look for your county. donate and support our defenders who are standing on the line to actualize the dream of Dr. Hindley. And this applies also to every county and local government area. You will never blame this interim government if you cannot locate and donate to your local government organizations to support this struggle now. We must prove to ground zero that we care, and that the only way to do so is to join our local government areas and donate. If you do this, if you do, or if we do, this war will be shorter than expected. Ladies and gentlemen, La République du Cameroon is tired. They are losing innocent soldiers on a war that wasn't supposed to be in the first place. And they are now desperately looking for a way out. Listen to me. French Cameroon is now desperately looking for a way out of this war. They never believed they were going to face this challenge. In fact, Mr. Biya, I can guess, is right now asking who was advising him to declare war on Ambazonia. Because right now, they are frustrated. Their men are dying in their numbers in the hands of patriotic Ambazonian defenders. And they are looking for means to work out. Now listen to what just happened. Listen to me. Their disarmament committee that they created has now given up. And they have turned to the United Nations to send in a disarmament force to Cameroon. We got this as early as today. But the United Nations is questioning them why they send troops into Ambazonia in the first place. The United Nations has refused to send any disarmament force, instructing French Cameroon instead that they should simply withdraw their troops. I mean, if that is not breaking news to you, and if that is not beautiful news to you, I don't know what else it can be. The United Nations is saying, we are not sending you any disarmament troops into your country. You did not have to start this war in the first place. What you should be doing is withdraw your forces from Ambazonia. That is the message coming from the United Nations. They are not doing it anytime soon. French Cameroon will not surrender anytime soon because of the shame. But at least the good news is that we have them between the rock and the hard place. Let's hold tight, ladies and gentlemen. God is fighting for us. Let's help God to help us by making and paying our donations to our local government areas. Let's support our local government fighters. Let's give them what they need. Don't say, I have given a lot already. We can never give enough until we get to Buea. Support, please, support your local government. Support the restoration forces. Let every county realize the plan of one man, one number, one AK. Thank you for watching. Good night. God bless.